namaste to the divinity in each one of you all present in this hall. I take this opportunity to pay my heartfelt respects to Shanta Kumari Amma, Mani Mohan's mother, who has been a tremendous inspiration not only to give birth to him, but to see that the inner light in him comes out in some kind of a concrete manner whereby it would benefit thousands and lakhs of people. With these words, I come back to the subject assigned to me, and that is meditation. You see, when you rely on God, God provides you. This is my conviction. And I was so surprised when the prayer was held. The prayer was the rendition of a Gujarati poet, Narsi Mehta. For all intents and purposes, I am a Gujarati. And so I was not only happy, it took me to my childhood days when in my Gujarati book, I have read this poem which was rendered in the Tamil version today. In Gujarati, I will render 2 lines of this and then connect it to the subject of my passion, meditation. Vaishnav janto tene kahiye, je peed parai jane re. It means Vaishnav is not by birth. Vaishnav is not by any tradition. Vaishnav is got to live the life of a compassionate human being. Those who are compassionate are all Vaishnavas. This is the meaning of the prayer which was rendered a couple of minutes before. Now, when it comes to meditation, you need 2 attributes. One of them is what is narrated in the poem and the prayer, compassion. And the second aspect is love. Now, till and until you have this kind of qualities in you, you are a very poor candidate for meditation. Now, meditation cannot happen to everyone. Let me make it very clear. Nor meditation is a mass-oriented activity. It was never, and it shall never be one. There is no harm in somebody imagining that he or she is doing meditation, because I would put it in the compartment of some good activity and leave it at that. Meditation requires a very big amount of prerequisites. Like you cannot become an Air Force pilot just because you have got some degree. It requires many other attributes and qualifications. Similarly, to be suffused in meditation, it's a Herculean task. You have to live by the tenets prescribed in the Thirukkural 108, which talks about dharma, artha and kama. So until and unless those tenets drive into you naturally, not by force, not by coercion, but by your love for your Almighty, for your Talavan, who has given you birth, and if that passion drives you, then yes, there is a murmur sometimes inside you, and that murmur takes over you, envelops you, guides you, teaches you, and makes you teach others as well. So it's an activity of the Rishi Parampara, of the Siddha Parampara, of the geniuses who walked the earth of this great motherland of ours. Now, if that is understood, you will know how many people can be truly called meditators. Out of love and affection, we can call anybody meditating or meditators. Well, that's a very nice and a very kind way of looking at things. Anyway, we'll not go into that further. I'll come to the salient features of the book, The Inner Light Cosmic Meditation, which Mani Mohan has so kindly, so generously, and so much with love translated into Tamil, giving it a very different name, a Tamil name. In fact, I told Mani Mohan, because when I look at people, I know who is where. And I knew when I looked at Mani Mohan that here is a yogi, okay, who has chosen out of his karmic reasons to be an IRS officer and thereby influence so many people professionally. And nobody is going to come and tell you that I was influenced by Mani Mohan when he said this, and it will have nothing to do with religion, philosophy, or meditation. So you have to understand that meditation walks many paths, and a yogi is not the one who's with a beard and disheveled hair and robes of some color. I have seen yogis among doctors, I have seen yogis among journalists, I have seen yogis among various walks of life. You need eyes to understand people. You need eyes to look at people. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, we tom-tom so much about it. But how is it going to happen? How is the slogan going to manifest itself and embrace the whole world and make it one family? These are all very serious questions which people like you all should ponder. We should not be carried away in a herd mentality just because somebody said something. We should question. We should understand. We belong to the land of the genius. Our ancestors, I mean all our ancestors without exception, were brilliant people in different ways. I was addressing the Tata Memorial Cancer Research Hospital doctors. I looked at them and I knew that they have no regard for alternate medicine. So I told them, the fact that you all are sitting here as doctors is because some great-great-grandfather of yours was a Vaidya. And that runs in your DNA. And that is the causative factor that tempted you to become a doctor. Things like that. So we are not only a product of what appears to us on the surface of it, in this little life of ours, but we are a product of all our ancestors. So we need to be very respectful to our ancestors to whom we owe our existence and practice every ritual of your religion. If you are a Christian, you practice that which is mentioned in your Christianity. If you are following the Islam path, you follow the tenets of Islam and venerate your ancestors appropriately. So also for the other religions. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this is because without all this kind of background, meditation never takes off. Meditation will just be a dummy activity. If meditation has to encompass you, if meditation has to embrace you, you need to look at things honestly. You need to have that kind of objectivity inside you. You need to understand that all of us have been fashioned by the same maker. When he gave birth to each one of us, he put his very best into you. He looked at you, he felt very proud that I have given birth to a genius. Ask yourself how much true you have been to that sankalpam of your divine master. This is the way you got to look at life. In other words, in one short line, the grammar of life has to completely change. You cannot handle meditation with the grammar of life. You cannot say this, that, and the other, that he is that, and I am this, and he is superior, and I am inferior. These kind of divisions have to be given a go-by. You have to look at people deep inside them and understand that in the soul of each one of us lives the same divine entity with the same kind of prowess and possibility. And if some have made it, it's because of their good karma, and if some have not been able to make it, it's because of circumstances. So the grammar of life has to change. like most of you, I was a professional who was more passionate in shipping than in meditation, which I am today. There was nothing in that subject which didn't fascinate me. God was very kind. I held the best of positions that profession could give me. I was honored, respected. But somewhere deep down, the quest was lingering inside me from childhood. And the Lord the Merciful at some point of time thought enough is enough and just managed to put a kind of an antivirus inside me and wipe out shipping out of my mind. Believe me, today that subject at one point of time, which was my complete passion, is no more visible in any activity of mine. Such is the possibility for each one of you. If it happens to Kumar Krishnamurti, it can happen to you, and anyone. This is what I am trying to convey. There was nothing great about me, but there was only one factor, and that I didn't leave him. I wanted to know what is actually meditation. I went to thousands and thousands of people. I went and attended several programs, but I knew what they were saying, it was not 100% true. I knew meditation was something else, and I wanted it from the source. And when you struggle, like Robert Bruce, try again, try again. It shall happen one day, and it did happen to me, and it happened with all the force that the love and the command which our Maker has. So much so, when I went to the Mahakumbh, I should mention about this because Mahakumbh is going on in Prayagraj now. In the year 1989, I was taken to Mahakumbh at Allahabad then, and I met a saint there, Baba Bhutnath, who was 89 years old. What impressed me most about him was his physical propensity. He was ramrod straight, he had no specs, his teeth were intact, and I was told that when he went for vyayam or kasrat, he could lift two people with his two hands and walk on a boundary wall. So, yogis are not namby-pamby people. Yogis are very tough people. There is nothing that a yogi cannot do. So I was before one such yogi, to my good luck, and he initiated me in a secret manner. I never questioned him. I never asked him what he did to me, because I had by then reached a stage of intuition, and I knew my feet always would reach the right place. He initiated me and told me, "You will write a book which shall be well received." I came back very happy, thinking I am going to do fireworks in shipping, which was my subject. Little did I know that the Kumbh Prasad would change me 360 degrees. I came back from Kumbh, and believe me, I went to my parents with the prasadam of Kumbh, and out of all my 10 fingers, energy was just blowing out. The entire Kundalini was in fire. I knew something big has happened. And thereafter, in a couple of weeks, all my questions of meditation were answered. Do not ask me how. There was nothing left for me to understand on that subject. And thereon the journey began. And when the God gives you something, He provides you the opportunity, and people started meeting me with all their problems. They were seekers of meditation, they were seekers with health problems, they were seekers with various psychosomatic problems, what have you. This person who's standing before you doesn't speak from any other text. I am not a well-read man, but I speak from personal experience. That is my conviction. If I have not experienced a thing, I keep mum. Whatever is mentioned in Inner Light Cosmic Meditation, I am totally privy to it. I have experienced it totally. I don't understand anything beyond meditation. If somebody were to ask me about yoga, I would say go to some other gentleman. I understand nothing about it. I have what is called in Hindi, Ek Sutriya Karyakram. One. I understand only one thing, and that is meditation. And I must say with some degree of frankness that I think I understand that much better than most people. So I have covered enough for this intelligent audience. I don't need to dilate further. The book is available at your disposal. Do read it. Mani Mohan has done a splendid job. I could, even if I was a Tamil scholar, I don't think I could have done such a brilliant job. I am saying this out of experience. Although I don't read Tamil, I have asked the person who is sitting here opposite to me, Anandi. She is my Shishya. She is the one who's most privileged in this audience when it comes to meditation, because meditation and the book that was conceived was not a written delivery. It was an oral delivery between 1 and 3 a.m. I was made to sit for dhyan, and what came out of me was trapped in C90 cassettes, and out of that, Inner Light Cosmic Meditation was born. Anandi is a postgraduate from IIT Mumbai. I don't think she ever wanted to come into this profession or this subject. The Lord the Merciful thought, who else can transcribe this so many tapes perfectly? And in his Google, he narrowed down on this lady who was not known to me. She was brought before me. I looked at her. She looked like a good headmistress. So I said, yes, she should be able to do the job. I gave her the first cassette, and when she came back after a week, having written down everything, I found not a scratch on that book. That is not important. What is important is Anandi kept to herself for several months that with each tape that she was hearing, she was experiencing everything that I had experienced away from me, just by the tapes. So her scientific mind was in turmoil as to how does this happen. She experienced levitation, she experienced non-thought, she experienced samadhi, and what have you. And thus the book was born, and today Anandi is an author in her own right. She has authored a book called Mind Your DNA, which is a combination of meditation and science. Okay, now with these words, I leave you with your thoughts, with the book that is available on 28th, as Ananta Kalyana Krishnan mentioned, at 6 p.m. I would be addressing on meditation and initiating people into dhyan at the venue narrated by him at the Sharadamba Temple Hall, Racecourse Road. Do come if you are interested in the subject. Read the book. Feel free to contact me. I'll be most delighted to interact with anyone who is genuinely interested in the subject. And last but not the least, if you were to ask me what is the difference between you and the other gurus, I would tell you only one thing. I don't produce disciples, I produce gurus. This is the difference between me and the others. With these words, I thank you for your patient hearing, and God bless you.